Hi. It's so good to be here with everybody. It's been a little while since my last live stream. I don't even know when it was, but it's so good to have people here. It's so good to be interacting with the community. I hope everybody's doing well on this Thursday. It's been cloudy here in Fort Worth, and I'm ready to see more sunshine, um, but it's like 80 degrees, so I can't complain too much. It feels pretty nice. Hi, Sue Ann. Hi, Whitney. Hi, Moritz Bowl. Hi. Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Mary. Hi, Lollipops. Nice handle, Lollipops. Hi, Ashley. So today, there's 3 parts of what I want to do during our live stream today. And I might crochet a little bit. Hi, Jeffrey, because I'm feeling really stemmy. This is my Afghan that I'm working on right now. So there's 3 parts of what I want to do today. The first one is to go over, hi Mikey boy, to go over community events that are coming up in April and May. And I'm really excited about them. And there's some great changes, some important changes coming up that I think are going to benefit the community. So we're going to talk about community events. And then I've got personal update to share, and then a Q&A at the end. So hold your questions. At the end, I'll ask you to, you can be thinking of them. I'll ask you to put the questions in the comments at the end, okay? And I've got a few questions that have already been sent in, like on the YouTube community page and Instagram. Yes, it's my stress stitching, Mary. Yeah, it's my stress. I just have felt, some of you ask me how I do, when I've got one-on-one sessions and stuff and I'm not in the headspace to do it. It's like stimming is really important. And actually my last one-on-one session, which I really enjoyed, I just crocheted the whole time and it helped me feel more balanced and regulated. So I have my little tricks, and I also have my Ono roller that I love. This is great. Hey, Smickety Smoo. Wasn't it Smoo Smickety? Did I make that up? Okay, so let's talk about some of the community events going on. Okay, so first of all, this community is amazing. People ask me all the time, they say, how do you deal with the haters? And you know what I say? I say, and I changed this number. This number has gone up every time. First I said, 70% of it's positive, 80% of it's positive. Now I say, you know what? 90% of the interactions that I receive being an online person are positive and kind and wonderful. And so I just want to thank this community because y'all are beautiful people. And, I've also had people say that the comments on the channel are really unlike other channels, not like in the autistic community, but like in the YouTube community. It's unlike other channels because there's just camaraderie. There's a feeling of support, of kindness, of compassion. And y'all do that. Okay. So, I'm one person, and still today I'm a one-person team. I hope to be adding more to the team soon because I need some help. But, y'all are part of this team too, and we're really creating something beautiful here. There's so many people. I wish I could share all the letters with y'all because y'all are part of this too, but just literally every single day, people writing in that their lives are changed because they feel validated and seen. And like, y'all are all doing this with me. We're all in it together, especially the people here on the live stream, because I know y'all tend to be front and center. And I see all these little emoji badges that y'all have because y'all are channel members. So I love y'all. I appreciate you. It's important work that we're doing here. I mean, whenever we can, first of all, validate our own experiences, that in turn helps us validate others. And all of those things together help make the world a safer and kinder place. And so I feel really honored to be a part of what we're doing here and creating what we're doing. Now, that being said, there are limitations to YouTube, obviously, to social media. And part of what I want to do and have been doing is creating deeper connections within the community. And that seems to be something that y'all have wanted as well, judging by how popular community groups have been. So I will say that my goal going forward, and we're going to talk about this in just a little bit, my goal going forward is going to be to hopefully be able to offer scholarships to people who need it to participate in these groups. So I try to make them as affordable as possible, but it does take a lot of time to manage behind the scenes. I just want to let you know, like, I'm not saying that for any reason other than to let you know, like, I'm only charging for them what I need in order to make my time, like, in order for these to be sustainable. So that being said, I want to be able to offer scholarships in the future, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Okay, so even though I've been a YouTuber for I don't know, I guess 2 years now, which is wild. Um, I still don't know how to like incorporate live streaming software. I worked on it all morning. I wanted to have like a slideshow to do for y'all. Um, but I couldn't figure it out. And so I wrote things on pieces of paper that I'm now worried are going to be mirror imaged. Is this backwards for y'all? Please, somebody tell me. Is this backwards? I'm reading the comments. It's not mirrored. Okay, because what I am seeing is mirrored. Okay. So this is my high-tech YouTuber slideshow. I worked so hard this morning trying to figure out how to do this. Okay. If anybody knows OBS software, I really need some help. Okay. So the first thing that I'm really excited about, thank you for the support. It's not backwards. Okay. The link to everything is in the description. It's already there. Okay, anything that I talked about today, it's already there. All right, this is the thing I'm most excited about for April and May. It's tripping my brain out because yes, it is mirrored for me. There are 2 connection groups. So there's going to be one in April and one in May. The difference, you're welcome for keeping it real and being human. I'm really good at being human. The difference here with these offerings is that I'm switching to a new software that allows me to schedule the same group multiple times. Okay. So what's going to happen is there's going to be 4 meetings, 1 meeting per week for a month. And it's going to be the same group of people every week. And what we're going to do is we're going to get to know each other, and I'm going to guide it. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to hold your hand digitally, and I'm going to let you know what to expect. I always send out emails the day before so you know what questions we're going to go over. You have the names of everybody in the group, just first names only. And it's a great way to get to know other people in the community. Okay, so this is something that people have been asking for. I just haven't had the right software to be able to offer like a continuous group until now. So there's one in April, there's one in May. This is a bit that I keep this group smaller so that we can all have a chance to participate if we want to. So it's capped at 10 people per group. Okay. I will say for all of my groups, you can always be a fly on the wall and say absolutely nothing. You can participate however it feels comfortable to you. You can keep your camera off the entire time. You don't have to say a single word. There's also a text box feature where you can contribute your thoughts and ideas in text format. So this is all about you being comfortable however you need to be comfortable, and just having the opportunity to connect with other people. Okay. So with this group, you also get access to my private online community, and it's through a platform called Podia. Everybody can post, everybody can respond to each other, and it's a really great way to express frustrations, to ask questions, to ask for feedback, to ask for advice, to connect with other people, say like, hey, this really weird thing is like part of my life. Does anybody else do this really weird thing? And everybody's like, that's not weird. I do it all the time. So if you're looking for that, you're also going to get access to my private online community if you sign up for the connections group. Yeah, Podia is it's a platform where you can host. I don't even know if it's important to share. It's just the platform that I'm using for. It's kind of sort of functions like a private Facebook group, but it's not on Facebook. Okay. And again, if you sign up for these groups, I give you all of the information and I guide you step by step. Okay, the next thing up for April and May. This is a class that I did last year that went over really well. And I haven't done it in months because I was focusing on some other topics, but I'm bringing it back. So there's a learn and discuss group over ADHD and autism. Learn and discuss groups are 90 minutes long. And this is still mirror image and it's freaking me out. Okay, so 90 minutes long. There's a slideshow with pauses for discussion. Again, I email out all the questions the day beforehand so you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. And we also do brief introductions at the beginning. We usually focus on like a fun question, like what's your favorite article of clothing? Or like if you could teach a class on one thing, what would you teach? And so that kind of gives us an opportunity to meet other people. And then we're also learning about this topic and have the ability to ask each other questions and give feedback. So this also comes with access to the online community because we always come up with more questions than we have time for. And so the online community gives an opportunity to keep connecting and keep asking questions and learning. Okay, so there's another Learn and Discuss group. This is the most popular one. I'm bringing it back for April and May. Autistic inertia and demand avoidance. Okay, this is same concept as the ADHD and autism class, different topic, 90 minutes, slideshow, and discussion, also with access to the online community. So we talk about what is autistic inertia, what is demand avoidance, and then we talk about tips for navigating executive functioning challenges. This is a great class. It tends to help a lot of people and give a lot of clarity about autistic life. Oh, that was probably really loud on the microphone. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. Okay, there's the third Learn and Discuss class in April and May. Dating and relationships. This is another one that kind of was sleeping for a while. I did it last year, but it went over really well. I decided to bring it back. As a Learn and Discuss group, it is 90 minutes long, slideshow, discussion, access to online community. We're going to be talking about what to expect in relationships, like what is an appropriate way to be treated, what are appropriate boundaries, standards, how to communicate, how to navigate conflict. And I can't remember what other points I've got in there, but it's a really, you'll find out. Most of my slideshows have way too much information, but I always like to give you like as much information as I can. And then I always send you the slideshow so you can go back and look over it. Okay. Learn and Discuss, dating and relationships. We're almost through with these offerings here. I have also got a masking webinar. This is 60 minutes. And this is kind of more like you can take a back seat and just like be totally hands off and not involved. So this is basically me talking for a long time over autistic masking. We're going to be talking about what is it? How is it different from what other people do? Is it safe to unmask? Should we unmask? How do we unmask? And so this is a really great class for people who, for people who are autistic, but also for people who are not, because I get a lot of questions from people like, I have a daughter on the spectrum, my mom's on the spectrum, I want to learn more. These webinars are a great place for that because you just kind of listen and learn. And then at the very end, I always leave time for Q&A if you have a question that you want to ask. So same concept, Autistic Meltdowns webinar. Okay, so 60 minutes, me talking during a slideshow, and then at the very end, there's a Q&A. This is also great for people on the spectrum or off the spectrum just wanting to learn more about it. We're going to talk about what's happening in our bodies during a meltdown, how the nervous system is working, tips for regulating your nervous system, tips for meltdown recovery, identifying meltdown triggers. This is just a really great way to get more in touch with your sensory profile and your sensory needs, and then feel like you have tools and resources to accommodate and support yourself. Okay. Yes. And then lastly, I also offer one-on-one sessions. These are great. I've been having so many recently and getting to know so many of you in the community. It's always an honor. I'm always learning from your experiences. The only difference now is that there's also packages available, which this is what people have asked for because, the one-on-one sessions are great, like to book one for if you're wanting to know more about the diagnostic process, or if you have questions about how to support a loved one, that kind of stuff. But if you're wanting to work through something together, like showing up more fully in your job or help with parenting challenges, that's probably going to be better in like a continuation of meetups together. And so now I have packages that you can purchase, like a month of coaching sessions that'll save you money and also kind of give us more momentum to work through challenges that you're facing. Okay. So that's the difference there. All right. And then, like I said, my goal is to be able to offer scholarships for these. So I've kept them as affordable as possible. But if you are interested, I've had people do this in the past. If you're interested in helping other people participate in these types of events, I hope you can read my handwriting, feel free to leave a contribution at paypal.me/mom on the spectrum. And anything that you send will 100% go to other people who want to participate in these groups but cannot. Okay. And going forward, I would really like for this, as the channel grows and as I get more hoping to get my first sponsors soon. As I get sponsors, as I get more affiliate partnerships, I'm hoping to be able to fund a scholarship fund, just kind of ongoing for people that want to participate, because I know that the autistic community is underemployed and I want to be able to help us get the access to support that we need. So if you're in a place to contribute at all, I mean, a little bit goes a long way. $5, $10, paypal.me/mom on the spectrum. 100% of things given here will go to just directly paying for other people to participate in these events. Okay. And if you're just now joining us, the link for all of the April and May community events are in the description currently. Okay. 2 more things before we get into the personal update. Okay. I feel like one of these videos, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So recent videos you may have missed. Stimming changed my life. Okay. This has been really important for me because I think as a late diagnosed adult, a lot of us have trained out our stims because they were like annoying or upsetting, or people didn't know that we needed to do them. And so now relearning how to stim through therapy and with the help of my psychologist, I'm learning, oh, this is actually very regulating to me. So I made a video about it. Autism and sleep disturbances. Is that what this says? Yes. Sorry for the handwriting. Autism and sleep disturbances. I've had people write in and say like, oh, I had like the best night of sleep that I had after watching this video. So this is a list of resources or like practices that might be helpful. And sometimes it's just helpful to know that you're not alone in it, right? Like just to have more vocabulary and words for your experiences. So if you have trouble sleeping, you might check out this video. And then lastly, this is the one that I feel like I'm going to try to slow down my talking because I know that I talk quickly. This last one, I feel like has not been showing up in the search results because it's trigger warning eating disorders. Okay. But I want to make sure that everybody knows that this video is out there because, okay, I recently read a statistic. Listen to this, everybody, get ready. More people who struggle with anorexia are autistic than not autistic. Wrap your mind around that for a second. More autistic people are, more people who struggle with anorexia are autistic than not autistic, okay? To the point where people presenting with eating disorders, it's now being clinically advised that you also screen for autism, okay? This has significant impact on our community. There is an eating disorder. I don't want to give the video here, but there's an eating disorder called ARFID that blew my mind. Avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. So if you're interested in learning more about eating disorders and autism, they are very closely related for reasons like alexithymia, interoception difficulties. Those are words that I talk about in that video. And I just want to make sure you know that that video exists because I feel like because of the sensitive content, YouTube was like, no. So it's out there. You can watch it, but it might not have shown up on your page. Okay. The very last thing before we get to the personal update, coming soon. This is what I've been working on. It's one of those things where I've been like, hey guys, I'm working on something new. It'll be here soon. And then it's like 6 months later. I'm working on a course that I'm very proud of. It's called How to Unmask, Cultivating Your True Autistic Self. This is going to be a self-guided video class. And I've created a reflection journal, that's going to guide you through the videos. And my hope is that this class is going to help us find safe ways to unmask and ultimately figure out more of who we really are and to help us integrate our brains and our bodies to become more in touch with the things that make us feel alive. And I'm really excited about this course because it's self-paced. You can do it whenever you have the capacity to do so. You'll have access to it forever. And then the reflection journal is just one step further into helping you assimilate these ideas and incorporate them into your lives. Okay. So this is coming soon. It's actually all planned. The reflection journal is created. I have the slideshows done. I just have to shoot them. Okay. So I don't have an ETA yet. I have the platform figured. There's so many things that are making this almost happen. I just have to shoot it. Okay. And I will let you know when my executive functioning decides that is possible. My stomach is about to growl very loud because I forgot to plan for lunch and I've had sessions all day. Okay. Personal update. Okay. First of all, whenever I meet with some of you one-on-one, you've asked me about my software development and my software development job. So here's the update here. I will make sure that I eat. Thank you. I promise I will eat after this. It was an executive functioning lack of planning this time. Okay. So as of December, I've been able to do YouTube full time. So that's been so exciting. So those of you asking me about my software job, yeah, I didn't see that through because at the same time, the channel was really taking off, and I took a leap of faith and put everything I had into it. And I'm so grateful. I my heart's beating faster as I'm talking about it, and a lot of emotions are coming up. But every day, oh my gosh, all my hands are starting to shake too. Every day, I feel grateful and honored to do the work that I get to do. I didn't know that was coming. So thank you, and thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me know what this work means to you. Truly, I thought that being a YouTuber would mean just having to develop the toughest skin and like dealing with trolls every day, but y'all are just the kindest group of people. And so I just want to thank you for that. So this is what I'm doing full time now. I spend my days doing coaching sessions, running community events, trying to put up one video a week, which is difficult for me. Claire from Witchhead Theory does it so effortlessly. Like and Orion, like they get videos up all the time. So my goal is to do one a week, and then also creating resources, like the Meltdown Survival Guide, and then hopefully the masking. My hands are shaking. The masking video course. Okay. Now, the other part of my personal update is very hard to share, and I thought that I was in a headspace to do it without a ton of emotion, but I don't know if that's possible because this whole morning I felt really shaken up about it. I don't know how much to share, but I am going to say this is going to come as a shock to a lot of you, but I'm actually going through a divorce. I've been walking through it for a long time, and this is not it's not new, raw information. And that's why I wanted, like yesterday, I was like, I feel like it's time to share, and I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and I'm going to share. I've been walking through this for about the past 9 months, which is really hard to believe. This was not on my bingo card. I never thought that this would be my life. I am having to re-envision who I thought I was going to be and what my family was going to look like. It's hard knowing what to say about it because it's so personal, and it's so painful. And I want to be real about it, and I want y'all to know, because I have talked about Scott. He's in one of the videos on the channel, and I want to be real about it. I know that a lot of us go through relational issues and challenges, and it's something that I hope to be able to speak more on in the future in terms of what I've learned for myself with emotional health, with boundaries, with communicating my wants and needs. There's so much that I've learned about how to strengthen who I am and how I show up in the world, how to take up space, how to be unapologetically me, and just to take up space. I mean, that's my battle cry right now is just being more me. And I just want to let y'all know that I'm okay. I know I'm emotional right now. I thought I could do this unemotionally, but it's okay. Emotions are not bad. Emotions are empowering. It's just hard to do it on a live stream. But I'm okay, more so than I thought that I would be. I feel more myself than I ever have. I feel more empowered to use my voice. I feel like I know more of who I am. Um, I feel like life is in a way like just starting. It's obviously a brand new beginning in a lot of ways. But just to speak to the realness of it, I mean, there's been days where especially in the beginning, where I just couldn't get out of bed at all. I would get the kids to school and then I just come back home and that was all I could do that day. Um, there's been days where I literally walk around my house in circles, and it would be forever until I realized, like, I had just been walking around in circles, like, I hadn't done anything, I hadn't eaten anything, I hadn't, like, said anything, I don't know, there's just days where time completely disappeared because nothing made sense, and I had no idea what was going on, and my world was falling apart. But, but I do wanna say that things are much better. Um, like, today, I feel very empowered. Grief, is it's a really ugly roller coaster, it's not fun, and there's days when it just hits me out of the blue, especially when I'm home alone, when the kids are with Scott. Um, and I'm not gonna talk about that right now because it's too much, but, I just wanna be real about it. It's extremely, extremely hard, but I'm surviving, and I'm laughing more, and I dance all the time, like, I'm dancing at home, and I go out and take dance classes, and I'm meeting new people and having fun and, like, trying new things, and, I just wanna let y'all know that I'm okay, but I am walking through, like, really, really hard stuff. So, I wanted to speak to the video that I have up on the channel with Scott. There were 2 up. One of them was about marriage, and it was too hard to have that one up, so I took it down for obvious reasons. The other one is on relationships and communication, and I've chosen at this time to keep it up because it seems to be helping a lot of people, and I get a lot of comments all the time that it helps people, better understand their relationships. I watched through it again, and I stand by what's in the video. Scott and I had a relationship for 16 years, and, it wasn't a failure. I don't see divorce as a failure. We're both really different people than we were when we got married. And we learned so, so, so much together. And so I'm grateful for the time that we had together, and we're still always going to be connected because of our kids. And we've got a co-parenting situation figured out. But I have decided to leave the video up with him for now because I feel like it's helping people. And again, divorce it's not a failure. Like, we still had 16 years is a lot longer than a lot of people spend together. So we've got a lot of things I think in that video that we can still share, and um, I just hope that it can be a testimony that, like, not everything is all good or all bad. It's really hard to um, I don't know. Sometimes it can be really hard to sit in the gray area of life, but I think that it's really important to practice to exercise that muscle of sitting with the gray, sitting with the uncertainty. So, anyways, I appreciate y'all being supportive and all the love. I have wanted to share it for a long time, but I've wanted to share it from a place of strength and empowerment. And I haven't been there until more recently in the past couple of months. And I can honestly say that I know that this is the best decision. The kids are doing okay. It's really, really hard. And that's the crappiest part about all of it. Because watching the kids go through it is, again, something that I'm not going to talk about publicly, at least now. But I just want to say that the kids are okay. Like, they're troopers, and we laugh and we cry and we have new experiences together, and I'm just so proud of them. And just want to let anybody else know that if you're walking through something similarly, I've talked with some people, I've shared this with others in my private online community, and also in some community groups. And I know that there's other people struggling relationally in their marriage or their long-term committed relationship. And just want to let you know that you're not alone. And that I think what I'm learning is the most important thing is that you have to be true to yourself. Don't suppress your anger. Don't cover up what you want and need. Relationships are a balance of give and take and compromise. But if you compromise so much of yourself that you start to disappear, that's not what a relationship is supposed to be. So, in the coming months and years, I hope to be able to speak more on what I've learned about emotional health and relational health because it's a lot. I've learned so much that I wish that younger me would have known. But again, I wouldn't say that I have any regrets. I'm very proud of who I am today. I'm very proud of the family that I have today, even though it looks quite a bit different than what I thought it was going to look like. And that's the beautiful thing about life is it's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And and I think that's been a really good thing. So that's where I'm at today. So thank you for listening. Um yeah, I'm going to take a second and we'll go ahead. I said we're going to do a Q&A here. So I have some questions written down that y'all have sent in. Goodness gracious. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for the gifts over there. I really appreciate that. Okay. So if you have a question that you'd like to send in, I love y'all too. I really if I could just say, well, I'm still being emotional. So it does get kind of lonely because I'm still a one person operation. And being here in the house alone when the kids aren't here and like running this day in and day out by myself physically, it can be really isolating. But then I just connect with y'all, like even if it's text or connecting with you in one-on-one sessions or community group events, it's like y'all are bringing me life. And oh gosh, there's a lot here. Like y'all get me out of bed in the morning. Like y'all are just amazing. And so just thank you. I love this community so much. And I just am really, really honored to be here. So enough with the tears. There's no shame, but again, tears on live stream are just a lot to navigate. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm fine. No, okay. I'm not going to dismiss. Okay. Processing on live stream. Here we go. We're going to transition to questions, okay? So if you have a question, what I would like for you to do is put it, format it like I just did in the chat. Okay, so all caps question so that I can easily find it whenever I'm looking over there. All right. But one of the questions sent in through the community tab is from living in the gray area, which is what I talked about, living in the gray area. Synchronicity. It's one of my words of the year. They said, being an undiagnosed woman who only recently came to an understanding of my own autism, how do I work around others telling me you're always searching for something? Thank you, Anne. So this is a feeling that I had before I got my autism diagnosis, that I was always searching for something. And I didn't tell anybody that I thought I was on the spectrum because I felt like the girl who cried wolf. I felt like I'm OCD, I'm ADHD, I'm a highly sensitive person, I have anxiety, I have depression, whatever. And then I didn't want to say oh, actually it's autism. At that point, I felt like I had just asked too much of everyone. But what I will say about this is that you are the only one who can validate your internal experiences. And if you wait for other people to validate what life is like for you, you're going to be doing that your entire life. No, not even your psychologist that's doing all of the brain tests on you. They don't know what it's like to live a day through your eyes, in your shoes, whatever the expressions are. And so finding ways to validate yourself, that's the only way. And there's a grieving that comes with that because sometimes your support network is not able to validate you in the way that you deserve to be validated. But I can tell you from experience that when you start by validating yourself first, guys, what is happening over here? Thank you so much. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much. When you come from a place of validating yourself, that in turn will start attracting people to you who are also going to validate you. Okay. If you come from that empowered place of, I believe in myself, I believe in my experiences, you're going to start attracting those types of people into your life. It's not a quick process. I wish that it was a light switch that you could turn on and off. But the other thing you can do is participate and communicate in communities like this, where there are people who give you words. And that's what happens to me every day. Like, people say something, and I'm like, wait. Like, I have never had words to describe that before, but that is my life too, right? That happens every day for me in this community. And so, connect here, connect with there's Asperger Experts has an online community that's great. There's one on Discord called AS Direct. So finding other neurodivergent communities that can help validate your experiences, absolutely start with that. I think part of this too is that living in the gray area, you had trouble with the people giving you the assessment and validating you. Get away. Okay, I'm giving advice right now, and you got to do what works best for you, but don't stay with somebody who's going to invalidate your experiences. Guys, thank you so much for the love and support over in the chat. If you are working with a provider that you don't feel like is listening to you, leave. Okay. Even if you've invested money, don't see it through. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting your time. There are people out there who are going to listen to you, who are going to take what you have to say seriously, and who are going to want to support you. Unfortunately, in the autistic community, we're used to having relationships a lot of times where we don't get that support. What is up with my red nose? I guess I was crying. So we kind of normalize the fact that, well, maybe I just am not going to feel supported. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. It does not have to be that way. Even if that's how it's always been for us, I'm here to tell you there are people out there who are going to support you, who are going to absolutely believe what you have to say. And it's worth seeking those people out. Okay. So if you're looking for a provider who can give you an evaluation, who's going to come from an informed place with compassion and understanding, I have several of those people I can recommend. And you can check out the Big Autistic Resource Guide on my website, momonthespectrum.life. You can download that for free. And it has a list of providers who can support you in a kind and compassionate and informed way. Okay, so that was a really good question. I've got another question from Bakira. My biggest question is, after autistic burnout, how do you know that you are fully recovered and recharged? How does normal feel like? That's a good question. As a mom, I'm going to say, I don't know if I've ever been fully charged. I don't know. I think it's always a fluctuating experience. What I am learning, okay, I saw a really interesting post the other day about bracing. Okay. So it's this idea that we kind of brace when something doesn't feel right, or we don't quite feel safe. And so I think maybe as I'm saying that, some of y'all can understand what that feels like, maybe a tensing in your body. So in general, when we're not regulated, we're going to feel tense. We're going to feel like we're bracing against the situations that we're in. And so the opposite of that, feeling like you're in a regulated space where you have control and you're empowered and you're making informed decisions for yourself, you're going to feel more grounded. And we can practice this right now. So wherever you are, if you're in a car, well, hopefully you're not driving and watching this, but sit like evenly in the space where you're sitting, to where your tailbone is resting pretty comfortably and against the surface that you're sitting on. Put your feet flat on the floor if possible, and then maybe just rest your hands in your lap, and then pretend like there's a string on your head and somebody's pulling you up towards the ceiling. So you're aligning your spine from your head all the way down to your tailbone. Okay. And then just take a deep breath, like into your pelvis. And see if you can let all of the weight in your body drop into your pelvic bone, like ground you into the seat. And then let your feet be heavy against the floor, and just practice this idea that you are supported by the ground beneath you. And take another really deep breath. Notice where your shoulders are. Even practicing this, if you're used to being in a stressed out posture, you might notice that your shoulders are up here. So see if you can roll your shoulders up towards your ears, back and down. Okay. This is kind of an example of what it could feel like when you're regulated. All right. And this, I didn't solve all your problems in 30 seconds. Like, this is just kind of a physical representation of what it might feel like to be in a more regulated space. But your body's going to give you cues that you're regulated, and it's going to take some time to understand those cues, because if I know you, and I think I know a lot of you, we've gotten used to downplaying those physical responses that our body gives us, because we switch to our brain and we start legitimizing things. Oh, I'm not really that stressed. I'm not really hurting. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to push through. I'm going to fawn my way through. And so we have to start listening to our body's cues that it gives us when we're tired, when we're stressed, when we're hungry, and practicing nourishing ourselves when we do receive those cues. Okay. So what does fully charged feel like? I think it feels like being grounded, being able to take a deep breath, being able to give yourself grace, and to know that this is a fluctuating state. Again, as a mom, I'm not sure how much time I spend in a well-regulated, balanced state, but I know that there are things that I can do to access feelings associated with that, if that makes sense. Deep breaths. Oh, look, there's Beltray. Deep breaths, stretching, active stimming. Those are some things coming to mind right now. Okay. The breathing thing helped. I'm so good. I'm so glad. I've been doing these breathing exercises in the community groups. So I recently started the breathing exercises when we start the group. And then I've done it for myself when I get on tangents and start talking way too fast. I said, okay, I'm going to pause and I'm going to breathe. And I do it while everybody's watching me. And then at the end, we always take some regulating breaths together. And this is the interesting thing here, okay? I think so often we want these quick fixes, like a magic, like, oh, I've never heard that before. Like, I'm going to try that and it's going to make things better. Do you know what the most powerful things are? The most annoying things that you know that you should do, like drink enough water, breathe, like just breathe deeply. So just this act of taking space to breathe intentionally, like how many of you realize that you maybe haven't taken like a full deep breath all day when we did that, right? Mindfully, intentionally breathing can solve so many stressors, or can alleviate, lessen a lot of stressors in our lives. Okay. Yeah. Remembering to breathe. It's important. Oh, is he wanting to come in? Don't worry. He knows how to open the door. Okay. I've got another question here, and then I'll look in the comments if there's another question. Remember, if you have a question, to do all caps like that to submit your questions. Okay. It helps me find it more easily. Okay, Sarah Lee says, please tell me, how is parenting for you? I'm autistic and most likely my children are as well. I have high standards and can't always keep them. I am always in burnout since I am a mother and don't know how I could possibly survive their childhood. I feel you. Okay, being a mom is the most challenging job in the entire world. It never stops. There's never an off moment for being a mom. And I will tell you, I don't know what ages your children are, Sarah. Mine are 6 and 9 now. And this has been such a blessing for me, like this chapter of life. It's a great age for kids, for my kids. Like, they're much more independent. They can do basic things for themselves. And I'm grateful to be in this stage with them. The early stages are particularly just so hard because lack of sleep, all of the sensory overwhelm, like changing diapers and loud crying and all of that. So I think there's just a lot to be said for giving yourself grace that things are, gosh, sometimes things are just so, so hard. Ask for help, ask for so much help. Be honest about how you're feeling. Like, you don't have to. So find a safe place to process, if that's a friend or a therapist, but you need to be honest about how you're really feeling. Because I know a lot of times as moms, we think like, oh, I shouldn't really feel upset. Like, I should be grateful that I have kids, that I get to be a mom. Okay, yeah. We know that, but your body is keeping track of these emotions that you have. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel frustrated, when you feel irritated, when you feel resentful, your body remembers those and it doesn't release those emotions until you feel them. Okay, that sucks, but unfortunately, that's something that I've learned. Okay, so take it from me, your body will not release those things until you feel them. And so, as a mom, don't downplay those emotions, right? We're not going to process them with our kids. We're not going to tell our kids that we feel resentful and angry. Um, but we can process them with a trusted friend or a therapist and work through those things. That's not to say, my brain's going a million directions. That's not to say that we pretend like everything's fine with our kids, because our kids need to know how to learn how to regulate emotions too. So in the capacity that they can understand and you're able to do so. So many caveats to give here. It is important to talk with your kids about how you're working through your emotions, but in an appropriate way, right? They don't need to know all of the details about that. Like, I'll tell my kids, my brain's feeling really overwhelmed right now. I just need some space to myself. Like, y'all didn't do anything wrong. I just need a second to where I can be by myself and breathe. And I probably need to eat something. I haven't had anything to drink in a while. So that type of thing. But I will just let you know that you can survive. Ask for help. Be honest about how you're feeling. Journal. Do everything you can to take care of yourself in terms of getting enough rest. Um, Finding social outlets, which I know can be extra stressful as someone on the spectrum. This is really maybe a good video topic because there's a lot to say here. Okay. All right. I'm going to scroll up for a couple of these questions. We'll stay a little bit longer. Thanks everyone so much for being here. This beautiful community. How do we apply to work for you? That's a good question. I actually, this is my goal for Mom on the Spectrum. Okay. I want to keep growing and I want to be a company that employs a lot of neurodivergent people. I haven't shared this on the channel before. I want to do like conferences like around the world, but it's not going to be your normal conference. It's going to have like we're going to have like sensory friendly spaces and like comfortable clothing and like safe snacks. And it's going to be, I don't know, I have all these ideas and y'all don't even know how many people I want to employ. Like, y'all have no idea. I want to employ all of you. And I want to just like change the world together with kindness and creating safe spaces for us. So hopefully down the line, living in the gray area, I'll be able to say, click this link and apply because it's coming. Okay. That's my goal. Let's see. Okay. I don't know how to say your name. Maritz Ball says, as a mom with ADHD and autism, as advice for someone else, would you have kids? Okay. That's such a personal question. Um, my kids are my favorite part about my life. um, they are such incredible humans, and having kids is a continuous invitation to reconnect with the essence of what it means to be alive. And it's an everyday invitation to become more patient and more kind and more gentle. And it's completely exhausting and will make you experience every emotion known to man, to humankind. But and that's such a personal question. I would say lean into your intuition. Don't make a big decision about becoming a parent until you feel like you're making that decision from a place of grounding, like we were talking about. Like, you feel like you can say yes with confidence that this feels like something that you want. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be nerves associated with that and some anxiety. Like, it's a huge decision. But I would just say you have to make that decision for yourself based off of what feels right to you. And don't make that decision until you do feel like one way or the other what feels best. But absolutely, being a mom is my favorite thing in the world. And I think neurodivergent kids are amazing. Like, a lot of times I look at other people's kids and I'm like, my kids are so cool. Like, I love my kids. So we have our own we have our own needs and challenges and interesting ways of doing things, but yeah, that's my thought there. Okay. Ashley, will this stream be up on YouTube when it's done? Yes. So if you go to my homepage, it'll have like the videos, but I think on the tabs, there's like it says live. And I think you have to click on the live to like find this video. Okay. Question. Michelle says, do you have advice on accepting the diagnosis and the impact it has on life? I still struggle a lot after 2 years. My advice would be, for me, I don't know if there was like a point when I accepted it. And you're still pretty early in the diagnostic process and receiving your diagnosis. I mean, for me, it was a whole grief process, right? And I think many of us are familiar with the stages of grief. It's unpredictable, and there's not like a cutoff of like, oh, I'm done grieving, right? But when you get the diagnosis, for me, it was this grieving process of what I could have had if I had different accommodations or I had more vocabulary to advocate for myself or understand my struggles. So I would just say to lean in to all of the emotions that come up, like all the emotions that you experience whenever you're processing your diagnosis, they're valid, right? Create space for them, journal about them, and just know that it's going to be a journey. I don't know if in particular, like accepting the diagnosis, I don't know if it's anything that is just like, oh, now I've accepted it. Because every day is going to be different. So that's my thought on that right now. Okay, let's see. I think I've gotten a lot of the questions. If I haven't gotten your question yet, feel free to repost it. I'll stick around until 2 here. Daniel says, did you talk? Oh gosh, go away. Did you talk with your family about your diagnosis, and do you have any advice around that? This is something I talk with people a lot about, because people want to share this with other people in their life, but it can be really hard, especially as a late diagnosed person, to know how to go about that, because a lot of times there's implications for other people related to you, right? So it can be a grieving process for other people in your life as well, because maybe they feel like they missed out on something that they should have seen, or maybe they disagree with the diagnosis. There's all different kinds of things that can come up there. So my advice is usually share it with people that feel safe to you and can ask questions from a place of curiosity rather than judgment, because we've already endured so much invalidation and gaslighting and shame that you have to be really careful and intentional about who you share your diagnosis with. And so, again, I think this would be one of those things, like, don't make a decision until it feels right to you. You'll probably know in a certain moment, like if you're out to dinner with a friend and the moment just feels right to share that. Hey, Yosemite Sam, I didn't know you were here. I think you trust your intuition there. I love your videos, by the way. You trust your intuition and just take what happens as information. So let's say you decide to share your diagnosis and it doesn't go the way that you planned. Nothing, you don't have to beat yourself up about it. Just take the response as information and use that to inform your next decisions about who you share it with. But my experience is different in that, okay, so you've probably heard me say this, but somebody told me a long time ago, if you can't talk about it, it owns you. And I've just really taken that to heart. I've been through a lot of stuff, and I can almost always turn it around as a way to empower myself whenever I share my experience with others. It needs to be done when you can do it from a place of, like, you don't want to go, I shouldn't have like gone through this divorce stuff and then like gotten on that week and like talked about it, right? No, that's not what we do. But like whenever you've kind of come through something and you can talk about it, I think there's a lot of power there. So for me, I just ripped the Band-Aid off and told the entire world that I'm autistic, and I don't really recommend that for everyone. I honestly have had a lot of practice of putting myself out there. I've always I've always put myself out there when I go through stuff. So you just have to lean into what feels right for you. And I would recommend not sharing it unless you feel like the person you're sharing it with is safe and will be somewhat validating. Now that it might not be perfect. Sometimes we have to teach other people how to treat us. And let's say that it's in a romantic relationship, you're married to someone and they need to know and they don't take it well. Absolutely give them feedback. The way that you responded to that made me feel unseen. It made me feel invalidated. These are my experiences. This is what's really happening to me. This is the support that I need. So when you do have to disclose it, I would just say absolutely give feedback for how their responses affect you if it's a relationship that's going to be a part of your life. So that's probably another video topic because that's kind of a big question. Okay, let's do maybe one more. Okay, I don't know how to say your name. ONEK7L. I'm feeling lazy lately and not getting up to do things until the last moment. Any tips to improve? How to know if it's just being lazy or it's actually a shutdown? This is one of those things where vocabulary, I'm not sure, like we have to find the balance of vocabulary being helpful. Like, is this a meltdown? Am I being lazy? And just embracing whatever it is, whether it's being lazy or a meltdown. Okay, you've had trouble doing stuff lately. It'll pass. I don't know. I don't want to let me find my words here. I think no matter what it is, just be kind to yourself. It sounds like you probably need some self-care and some time to veg out. I know it's hard because sometimes we feel like we take a lot of time to do that, and when is it ever going to stop? But in my life, when I'm being lazy, it's usually because I need to rest, because I really like working and I really like learning and I really like doing things and I really like life. So I guess that's my own personal experience, but I would just say if you're being lazy, just accept that that's kind of where you're at right now and give yourself the rest that you need until you feel like you have energy to do something else. Now that's a Disney response, right? And what I mean by Disney response is that, okay, that's cookie cutter. Like that's not going to work for every situation. And if you're a parent or you have a job and you're employed, like you can't just say, bye, I'm not going to talk to anyone. But in general, it just sounds like maybe you need a lot more rest than you're getting, and that's okay. That's my advice, just only knowing you through a comment. So, everyone. Okay, well, I think that's everything I was going to cover today. I just want to express again my gratitude for everyone here. I cannot believe I can believe. I'm honored at what a beautiful community this is. It takes strong people to be able to sit with uncomfortable ideas, to be able to sit with information that's hard to hear. It takes strong people to validate other people's experiences who are different. And the work that we have done in the autistic community after living a life of invalidation and gaslighting and manipulation and coercion and everything on the list, after all of that, so many people here are doing the work and we're still showing up and we're still living a life of integrity and compassion and asking questions and being curious and validating other people's experiences. And that's why, I mean, there's nothing like the autistic community. And so I just want to say thank you for doing the work with me. The work we are doing here is creating more kindness and more compassion in the world. And I just want to say, I think for many of us, so much of this work is done in isolation and solitude and loneliness and desperation and the quiet hours of the night where we feel like nobody will ever understand. But I just want to say that I see you and I know what that feels like. And there is hope. And there's a reason that we keep fighting. There's a reason that we keep searching for what's next. And it's because we are created to thrive. And let's all thrive together. Okay. So thank you so much. If you're interested in any of those community groups, the links are in the description below. Thank you so much to those of you who contributed during the live stream with monetary gifts. That's amazing. For those of you who just contributed by being here and being kind, thank you. For those of you who couldn't verbalize anything or type today, thank you for being here. And just know that I am sending so much love to you, and I wish you only the most beautiful things. Okay. So, sending so much love, and I will see y'all in the next video. Okay.